As I mentioned, the Iowa Supreme Court deadlocked on a case 3-3 last Friday. All 6 judges were appointed by Republican governors. One sidestepped the decision, recused themselves. This is over the state's heartbeat law. Now, the law does not go into effect because of the deadlock. So what's next in Iowa? Well, joining us now to talk about this is Bob Vander Plaats. He is the leader of the family leader there in Iowa. Bob, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Tony. Thanks for having me on.
Well, by the way, before we get into this topic, tomorrow night we're going to be together in Iowa, in Des Moines, at Experience Church. We're going to be having a town hall meeting for life. That'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. So, folks, you can be a part of that. Senator Lindsey Graham will be a part of it. We'll have Marjorie Dannenfelser will be there, Myra Rodriguez, and of course, Bob will be there as well. So to find out more, go to prayvotestand.org/townhall. So, Bob, give us the update on what the court's decision has done to Iowa's pro-life law, the heartbeat law.
Well, it's really disappointing because, first of all, the Iowa Supreme Court back in 2018 found a constitutional right to abortion in Iowa's Constitution. And we know that's not right. And so because of the leadership of Governor Kim Reynolds appointed some different justices, we appealed a 72-hour bill to the Iowa Supreme Court. This court overturned itself and said there is no right to an abortion in the Iowa Constitution. And that was done, Tony, a week before the overturn of Roe v. Wade, which basically said we're going to give it back to the states. So what happened then is that Governor Reynolds decided we're going to appeal the heartbeat law, which was given an injunction by a lower court judge. And then the Supreme Court said there's a constitutional right to abortion. We're going to appeal this law now to the Iowa Supreme Court. And basically, it just wasn't a deadlock 3-3, but it is a deeply divided court. The 3 that I'll call dissenters who went against approving the heartbeat bill, they said it was kind of a hypothetical law. Governor Reynolds really didn't mean it. The legislature didn't mean it. They never thought it would take effect. They wanted to give women more rights and say taking your trash out to the curb. I mean, just ridiculous arguments. And then the other 3 who affirmed the heartbeat law, they went after these 3 dissenting judges and said, you guys are trying to be a super legislature. This is activism on steroids. I mean, obviously they meant it because they appealed it to us. And so they wanted to see the heartbeat law stick. It's 3-3. As you're right, one of the justices recused herself because she used to, or her firm used to represent Planned Parenthood. And so this is the arena in which we live today. I know that Governor Reynolds and the legislature are extremely upset because of the violation of the separation of powers.
So, Bob, could we look for the legislature to come back in session to deal with this?
You know, I think all options are on the table, Tony. One of them is for Governor Reynolds to call a special session after she returns from a trade mission, I believe, to the Middle East, and basically reaffirm the heartbeat law and say, you know, we weren't kidding, we weren't joking, we really want this to stick. But you're already getting some rumblings, Tony, within the legislature saying, hey, if they want to be a legislator, they should resign, run for the legislature. If they want to be a talk show host, same type of thing. Or maybe we need to take a look at impeachment, or in Iowa, we've ousted justices over the violation of separation of powers before.
Yeah, in fact, I remember doing some bus tours up in Iowa where we saw some judges who were aggressively redefining marriage were booted out a number of years back. So, well, Bob, we're out of time, but I want to thank you for joining us today. Look forward to being with you tomorrow as we once again talk about the issue of life and how it's not just a state issue, it's a federal issue. It is all hands on deck to protect the unborn. I appreciate all that you guys are doing there in Iowa, leading the way.
Appreciate you as well, Tony. Thanks for having me on.